Um, we have completed series and pandas. In the previous class. Today, in this lecture, we will discuss some more functions or uh, methods of data frame, right? So what's the date today? It's it's 10th of January today, right?
Yeah.
So we will discuss about Python pandas, in which we will discuss um, about some function and method of data frame, right? Um, First of all, we write a simple code to make a simple data frame. Import pandas as pd, right? And just create a simple data frame, that is tf pd dot data frame, right? In which we are passing two-dimensional array, right? So this is for one dimensional, and the next second square bracket is for second dimensional, in which we are having some elements 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now close that bracket and take one more element in this, that also having the same element, same number of elements, like 7, 8, 9, 2, 3, right? Now close both the square brackets and now close after parenthesis. Now we have created data frame, and now you can print entire data frame using print function. Just pass the data frame name of your data frame, right? df. Now the output will be how many elements or how many rows are there in the data frame. There are two rows. What is the structure of data frame? We have created two-dimensional array. So now the structure is we are having two index, 0 and 1, and in which 0 contains 5 number of columns, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will start from 0, will go up to the length of the element 1, 2, 3, 4. So that will come 5 minus 1, that is 4. That is 4. Now the first element is at 0, 0 index position, and now further we can place all the elements accordingly. 3, 4, 5, right? 7, 8, 9, 2, and 3. This is our structure of data frame. These are the column name, right? These are the column name, and these are rows, which we can say that index and column, right? So now after writing this lines of code, you will create a simple data frame. That is, you can see that right. And now we are going to perform some functions or methods on this data frame. Suppose first, first I'll take uh, index. What is the working of this uh, method? It will return all index values of your data frame. Returns all index values. All index values. How will it return? The output will be, suppose that uh, range index, and it will be in parentheses like start, where the index starts from 0, right? So starting value will be 0, and the end value, sorry, uh, you can say that stop value, right? So you can write stop where the index number goes to the 1. That means if I want to write 0 and 1, so I'll take the plus 1 next to the next to these number, right? So the stop value will be 2, because this is always be excluded, right? We have already discussed what is start value and what is stop, right? So everywhere, wherever we use start and stop, so that means start value will be included and stop value will be excluded, right? So what is the interval, or what is the gap in between these index? By 1. So the index step values will be 1, and now close the bracket. This will be the output of index method, right? So same as suppose you want to know the number of columns, right? So you will um, you will use what is the working of this method? Returns all column values, columns, right? So the output will be what? Range index, and start value will be 0, because the column is also starts from 0 and goes to up to the size of the elements, right? So here
Yes.
stop value will be 4. That means we will take 4 plus 1. 4 plus 1, that will become 5. The stop value will be 5. And after this step, what is the step value? 1, because each time the column increment by 1. Is it clear? The output will be the same as the number of elements, right? And the you can and the syntax of that, if you want to write, so the syntax is df dot index. This is very simple syntax, right? And here you can call df dot column. This is very simple syntax, right? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. So let's move to the next example, that is axis. This method is very similar to the last um, index and column method, right? So you can use just like that axis, right? And returns all the axes, right? It will return all the indexes. Return all indexes. It will return rows and columns both. Rows and columns both. So the output will be what? Range. Range index. This is for rows, right? Start, where a rows start from 0 and the stop value will be 1, and step value, sorry, the step value will be 2 and step value will be 1. After this comma, we will write continue, right? So there is no space, so that's why I am writing here range index start 0 stop 2 and step 1. Sorry, stop, not 2. Here we will write 5 because per columns goes to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. How many columns are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 columns we will write in that way, right? 4 plus 1, that will become 5. This will last column, right? And now this is your complete output. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, now the next method is D types. Return the data type of given value, right? Suppose we are having a data frame that is 0, 1, 2, 3. These are the column name and these are the rows, right? And in which you are passing, suppose 7, 8, 5, 6, right? And 2, A, B, and 3, right? So this will return the data type of that value, right? Suppose 0, if I am talking about the in 0 index position, so it is having the column 0. It is having in the column 0 only the integer value, so it will return int 64, right? If all the values are numerical, right? If all the numbers are numeric, so it will return int 64. Or if is there any floating value, so it will return float, right? So in case there is any string value, so like that, so it will return always, always what, at one column, right?
Yes, one
So it,
column.
it is having only object data type, so it will always return object data, right? It will not return either any numeric value or string value. It will always return object data type. If any string values having any column, right? So in that case, it will return what, at three columns, right? It is having only integer number, so that's why it returns int 64. Is it clear? So remember that wherever you find any string value, so it will always return what? It will always return object value, object data type. Or suppose that if I am writing, suppose 2.0, the data types, both the numbers are different, and the data types of both numbers are different. So it here it will return the same output, that is object. Data type is what? Object. If the same if the uh, indexes contain same numbers or same data types, so it will return the same data type. Suppose int 64, either column 0 contains all the values in integer, or contains all the values in float, right? So it will return float, right? Otherwise, any one value is different you found, right? So it will always return object data type. So here the situation is the different, and here is also situation is very different, right? So now it will return int 64. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes,
Okay. Now the next method is shape. Shape is what? Shape is what? Returns the shape of data frame, right? In earlier classes, we have studied about one-dimensional data and two-dimensional data and multi-dimensional data as well, right? So if I'm talking about two-dimensional data, right? So suppose that two-dimensional data contains rows and columns, right? So I take same previous example. Suppose 0 and 1, and 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now put the values here, 7, 2, 1, whatever values it is, right? 0, 2, 3, 1, 5, 6, 9, right? Now if I want to know the structure of a data frame, which means how many rows and columns are there in a data frame. So it will, how many rows are there in this data frame? How many rows? How many rows? Row 1, right? And Row 2. Then how many rows are there?
Two.
How many rows are there?
Two.
2. And let me know the column. How many columns are there? This is our column. Column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, and column 5. Right? So that means 2 by 5. It will return 2 by 5. Right? So which means 2 rows. This is the row number. This is the row number. And this is what? Column. Is it clear? So it will return the same output, that is 2 comma 5. The syntax of this method is df dot shape. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Now let's do some practical till that uh, whatever methods we have discussed. Now just create a simple data frame. Import pandas as pd. Right? Df pd dot data frame. And this is for one dimensional. This is for two dimensional. Now put some elements here. 1 2 3 4 5. Right? Print df. See this. Now our data frame has been created, which has 2 rows and 5 columns. Right? The rows starts from 0 to 1, and columns starts from 0 to 4. Right? And now print df dot index. See this. What it returns. See this. Rail index starts from 0. Right? Index, there are two index which starts from 0 to 1. I've told you about stop values. If I want to write 0 and 1, so I'll take 2 as stop value, right? So start value 0 and the stop value 2, and tap by 1, because each time index increases by 1, right? So here it gives step 1, right? And same as print df dot columns. See this. Starts from 0 and up to the 5. 5 is what? This stop value is excluded. So the output will be from 0 to 4 and step by 1. Is it clear? Got it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So now same as we can use axis, right? Axis, so it will return both the axes. You can see that it it returns both the index, right? Both the axes in the list. See this, it gives a list of both axes, right? So now next method is shape, df dot shape. See this 2 comma 5, because we are having only two index, it means two rows and five columns, right? So that's why it returns 2 comma 5. Print df dot d types. See this, it returns int 64. If I'm if I change any of value into string, now just write any of number inside the quotes, it will become string, right? what what it gives. Now compile this program and now compile that line again. See this, now a and b. See this, a and b. So at 1 and 2, it it will return object. 1 and 2 will return object, right? T type method is used to return the data types of the given value. So if the data type is same, then it will return accordingly, right? Otherwise, it will return object. Suppose if I am taking about 8.2, see this float, right? Float 64. Is it clear? In that way, um, you can know about the data type of given value. Is it clear? Now we are having one more method, that is n dimension, which means if you want to know the dimension of your data frame, what dimensions has your data frame, right? So what what data frame is used for to create a two dimension, right? So it will return the dimension of your data frame, that is 2, right? Because we have created a two dimension array here. See this, that's why it has returned two dimensions. Is it clear? And the next function is len, in which you will pass your data frame to know the number of elements of your data frame, right? How many elements are there in the data frame? Just count the number of elements in the data frame. Let me know the number of elements. Tell me. How many elements in index 0? How many elements? Just count the number of elements. How many elements are there? Hello?
Six. Six elements.
6 elements are there. Now count it again.
Three. Three.
3. How
Wait.
you are counting?
1, 2. 2. The first
1,
is 0 and 1.
2, 3, 4, and 5. So we are having 5 elements in index 0, right? So we are having one more index, that is 1. So the same number of elements we are having, 5. So 5 plus 5, 10. So our data frame contains 10 elements, 10 number of elements. Now I want to know the number of elements in our data frame. To know the number of data frame, to know the elements of data frame, we will use len function and we will pass the data frame name here, which we have created here, right? So now after that, execute this command and it will return the number of rows, right? Number of rows. It will return number of rows. How many rows are there? 2. And each row contains 5 columns, right? 5 elements. Is it clear?
Yeah.
And now I'm creating another data frame, that is tf1, which is an empty data frame, right? pd dot data frame, right? And I am not passing any of elements here. Now create it and print that data frame by print function. So it will return empty data frame, column 0, index 0, because this is an empty data frame. So that's why it has returned columns 0, index 0, right? And now what I have to do, I want to know my data frame is empty or not, right? I'll check both the data frame which I have created first and the df1, right? So what it returns, see this, see this, print df dot empty and print df dot df1 dot empty, right? So if your data frame is empty, then it will return true, otherwise false. So we are having df which is not empty, so it will return false, and df1 which is not, which is empty, so it will return true. So we will get false true, right? See this, false true, because df1 which is not empty, so it will return false, because what we are checking here, we are checking our data frame is empty or not. So our data frame, which is df, is not empty, so it will return false, otherwise true. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, so this content is sufficient for today's lecture. In the next lecture, we will discuss some more um, functions or methods of data frame, and we will study about how to load um, Excel or CSV file into the data frame or series. Right? We will discuss in the next lecture, in the coming lecture, which is uh, will be held on Friday. Right? So we will discuss
Okay.
in that lecture.
Not
Right?
today.
So till
Monday.
that,
No, sir, it's Friday.
it's Friday, right? So
Yes.
um, till that, do practice as much as you can, right? I'll send um, both the videos in the previous lecture of the previous lecture and today's lecture, right? So I'll upload onto the group, right? So please uh, watch it if you are required, right? So whatever problems you are facing in the videos, in the lectures, please discuss with me at any time, right?
Okay.
Okay, we will move in the next lecture, we will move to the next topic, right? Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye.